Claims and stories in The Athletic this morning have sparked rival fans of Liverpool to claim cheat and conspiracy theories over the false positives test that led to the postponement of the first leg between Arsenal and Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. There are talks and claims in this article that Liverpool went above and beyond what was required. There were some faulty tests that led to the PR disaster that claimed false positives. Even Kenny Dalglish's daughter is being dragged into this conspiracy. And as stated on our Twitter feed, which I stand by, Liverpool being cheats has been sparked by an article by The Athletic. But is it really as deep as people are making it out? Is there really a conspiracy afoot here? Or was this simply a case of bad luck? We want your views. We want your opinions this morning on the Football Terrace. Hit that like and share button. This is the Done Deal Show. Let's go. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the Terrace. And who knew a tweet could send the world into absolute turmoil? Even I'm getting stick for tweeting that people are calling Liverpool cheats because of this article. It's a madness to me. This story in itself is crazy. Very well timed by The Athletic to release it on the day of the second leg, the game that should have taken place first 2 weeks ago. Very well timed. Clearly had the news for more than a day or two, but held it until today to ramp up the fury ahead of this game. I think it's going to be quite a raucous night tonight. There's a little bit of ill feeling between the two clubs and fan bases because of what's gone on, essentially. And this article from The Athletic that you can see here, I suggest you go and read it in its entirety because there is a lot of information here that you need to kind of go through. But the paragraphs, the bullet points here bring it to life here, which we can highlight just here for you, as you can see. But Liverpool decided to send their players for a precautionary PCR test using a laboratory called Biograd, which Kenny Dalglish's daughter works for, and I'll come back onto that a little later. Liverpool requested the postponement before knowing the results. The results came back as positive for 13 players. However, these tests were later discounted because of some fault. There was a fault in the process of testing them. This was never disclosed to the authorities or, of course, the media in relation to this. And it also claimed that some Liverpool players were unhappy and frustrated that they weren't able to play and that they had to isolate when they didn't have CV. So a lot of people will look at this like, oh my God, conspiracy. Straight away, all I saw this morning, my DMs, Liverpool cheats. Look what they did. And of course, I'll join in with the banter as in the group chat. Yeah, deduct them 20 points. It wasn't even in the league, but, just having a bit of a laugh and a joke. But I don't know. The way I look at it is this, there are postponement cheat claims everywhere. There are people calling Liverpool, underhand for this. They're dodgy with this. And I've read the article. In its entirety. Do I remember it word for word? No, I'm not a genius like that. And yeah, there were a few things that kind of stand out where you think, that don't kind of read right. What does that mean? How, these, why are you applying for a postponement before you have the test results back? Why did Liverpool go the extra mile? As an example, there were a few things in here. Why wasn't this all made clear at the time? But all this is highlighted to me. I don't think an investigation is needed. I don't think Liverpool have cheated, the same as I don't think Arsenal have cheated, the same as I don't think Leicester cheated, the same as I don't think Newcastle cheated, the same as I don't think Burnley have cheated, that Spurs cheated, that Man United cheated. Everything I have said from day one is coming to fruition. And again, we all go for low-hanging fruit. What rival can I ever go at? What YouTuber can I ever pop at for stating a fact? That this has, people are calling Liverpool cheats because of this. And by the way, the response I just got, listen, I respect Grizz Khan, but his response is just by kids, basically. It ain't kids, there's adults. There's lots of people saying this. And I'm defending Liverpool in this, same as I've defended every other club. The only guilty people here are the authorities. No clear process. There should have been a very strict flow chart. This is what you do. Don't tick a box or overcommit. Like in Liverpool's case, the games don't get called off. You did your tests. They came back negative. You play the game. I don't care that you've done 2, 3, 4 additional tests. We did the test. That's it. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. There has to be a process. The reason this game ended up being called off is because Liverpool essentially carried on testing. But there's nothing that stops them from doing that. I'm not even saying morally it's wrong. The point I'm making is there has been no clear process since day one. That is what enables this situation to arise. And I said it with the Arsenal thing. There's no clarity on what is and isn't acceptable within the rule. So people will claim that Arsenal were cheats. No, they falsified 3 or 4 players' injuries. You know, they made sure those loans went through at the right time. Whatever. This is always going to be happen when there's no clarity over process. No clarity over the process at all. And let me just say now on Kenny Dalglish's daughter, I think she's the comms manager. You think a communications manager has any power at Biograd? Come on. I'm a Man United fan, and in my heart of hearts would like nothing more than to see Liverpool dragged over the coals for cheating, thrown out of cup competitions, medals stripped, Champions Leagues taken away. Of course, I'd love to see that. I'm a Man United fan. I don't like Liverpool Football Club from a footballing perspective. But this conspiracy theory nonsense has to stop. All football clubs that have had games postponed have taken the piss out of the process. They've exploited the process. They've learned how to circumvent the weak law, rule that's instilled. It took a couple of weeks in December for people to work out how to put the applications in right, but they found the method. They found the process. You know, Liverpool will claim that they took extra tests because they wanted to be 100% sure they weren't going to spread infection. I don't believe that bit. I believe they took the extra test because they wanted the game called off. They wanted the rest. They wanted to recoup. They wanted some more players to come back, whatever it may be. But that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just having a winning mentality. Do I think Arsenal could have put a squad together for the game in the North London derby? Yes. But they didn't have to, and they followed the rules of the game. It's not a conspiracy theory, in my opinion. And lo and behold, Arsenal and Liverpool have been the 2 biggest rivals of my life in football. And I'm defending them because they are not the problem here. The authorities are. Said it from day one when all these games started getting postponed. What's the process? What is the process? What is the process? Equally, it sounds like football clubs are all outsourcing to different labs to get the PCR test done. No, you use one body or a recognized body that everybody signs off on. That way, again, you stop the risk of accusations being made. Well, they used a party that nobody's even heard of. And there was miraculously 13 dodgy results. This is the problem. The league have allowed this to happen. It isn't Liverpool's fault. There's no process and certain people to go to. It's an abomination, not by Liverpool. I'll repeat again, not by Liverpool, but by the authorities. And I told you all this was going to happen. Told you all. And it's why the law is now being looked at and they're going to change it. They're going to change this rule. And I got into a Barney with an Arsenal fan yesterday who didn't like the fact that I said Arsenal took the piss. And he's like, we didn't take the piss, we followed the rules. I'm like, bruv. So it's I don't know about the rest of the country. It's a working class expression. You're taking the piss, bruv. As in, that's funny. When a comedian rips into somebody, we go, oh, you took the piss. Yes, they exploited a loophole to benefit themselves. 99% of the population will do this. If I could show every single one of you working people a loophole that was legal, so you paid less tax, you had more money for you and your family, most of you would do it. Is it legal? Yes. Crack on. Like, this is the way human beings are, especially when it comes to sport. So I don't get the outrage. We always do this as fans. We focus on a club or a person and not the problem. The problem is the league, the EFL, the rule. We do it. We do it in the game. Oh, I hate the fact my player was offside by a millimeter. That's the rule. I don't get people. Maybe I'm just getting old. It's a madness to me. It's a madness to me. It really is. Roman here says, Terry, your source of Twitter trolls. Look, you can... I know a lot of Liverpool fans are not happy that my tweet said that there are Liverpool cheat claims. But there are Liverpool cheat claims. Whether Liverpool fans like me saying that or not, again, that is a cast iron fact. You can call them trolls. Click on the accounts of the people spreading it. There are journalists, or saying it, journalists. There are verifieds. There are people that have their real names, their job titles in their profiles making these claims. This isn't AFC underscore Trey, AFC underscore Obama, AFT underscore Arteta in that are saying this. These are accounts. And the one thing I will say about Liverpool, some Liverpool fans in this, is calm yourselves down a bit. You're being defended. But of course, I'm highlighting attention to the claims that are being made so they can be ridiculed. So they can be ridiculed. If you don't like that, that's on you, my bro. But I ain't changing for no one and their negativity. Because it's an absolute fact. A cast iron fact that people are claiming Liverpool cheated. And as Sarim here says, look at that. I call it a winning mentality. And I agree. It is. It is. It's the league's fault for having bad rules. Simple and as straightforward as that. Now, listen, what I want to do is I'm going to share the link in the live comment section for you to come on and have your say on the terrace today. But it's mad. It's mad. I can't believe it. I can't believe people are denying their cheat claims and people are calling them cheats. Jesus Christ. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. Make sure that like button is being smashed. Tom Little's on with me now to have you say, I will go back to your super chats in just a moment. United Trey is the most reliable Man United source. Yeah, I have heard that. I have heard that there. How did Arsenal take the piss? Did we really need to explain this? Bruv. If you believe that certain players had knocks and couldn't play the game, it's mad. If you believe up until this rule was exposed that teams wouldn't have played a youth player or two, you're deluding yourself. This rule has existed for a significant amount of time. Nobody's ever tried to get a game called off this way before because no one ever thought it'd be frowned upon to do it. But things escalate and teams have started doing it more and more. I was listening to a show last night on a radio show, and I can't remember which one it was. And there was somebody that used to work for the Premier League on there that basically said this rule's been in place, but we never thought teams would exploit it in the way that they have done. The league thought will add the CV element into an existing rule, but teams are only going to do it if they literally have 50%, 60%, 70% of their squad taken out with CV. What they didn't expect was people to go, oh, look. But it says like suspended, it says injured and unavailable. We could use this to our advantage now. So when I say take the piss, I'm talking exploiting it. The rule existed last year. Liverpool didn't use it when they had all their injuries, did they? Because nobody highlighted that they could. It wasn't used last year, but it was in existence. Teams have worked out how to exploit and take the piss out of it. And the league has realized this is a really flimsy rule with no protocol attached. Now, there should be rules within it where if you loan out 3 of your players in the space of 30 days before you make an application, 60 days before an application, you'll be told no. That's what I'm saying. It's such a flimsy law. It was easy to exploit. And when I say taking the piss, I mean it in a jokey way. It's funny that you are able to loan out 2 players, get a game postponed, and the day after the game, you loan somebody else out. If you don't find that funny, I think you're too in your feelings, mate. You're too in your feelings. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. This guy lives his life via Twitter. Everyone on Twitter thinks you're a B-Tech Mark Goldbridge. You're not even close to Goldbridge, and you never will be. Mark Goldbridge in this industry is amazing. If I'm a B-Tech Goldbridge, that's your opinion, then fair enough. The irony is, though, you only know I live my life on Twitter because you're on Twitter as well. Listen, my bro, if you think that cool, thank you for tuning into the terrace and having your say. I actually can't believe that you're attacking me for defending your football club. Oh, the gift that keeps on giving. Keeps on giving. Keeps on giving. Tom Little's here with me now. What are you saying, Tom?
It's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles. What is going on here? I mean, I've read that Athletic article. The biggest line in it for me is the EFL are adamant that Liverpool had not recorded false positive tests and believe in Biograd's testing program. So the EFL, the people who run the thing, who run the competition, believe we haven't done anything wrong. It's just a shambles. The fact that you can outsource it to different places, which have different requirements for what you need for testing, is just so stupid. This is a league, this is a competition, this is a country where football is such a big part, and it's just blasé about it. It's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. I don't think we've done anything wrong. More likely, it's just been either an error on their part, or I think it said in the article they have a lower threshold for what class as a positive test, and then when you do it with the official one, it's a higher threshold. That's probably what's happened.
Yeah,
We're just exploiting laws.
mate,
Other clubs do it.
Do you know what it is for me? Do you know what I'm more annoyed about? Is Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans in this last 2 weeks getting so over defensive and about it. It's sort of, I get, if someone's calling you a cheat, you defend yourself, but it's sort of like, but you know you didn't do anything. Like, I don't believe that Jurgen Klopp, like, I've joked and bantered about it, but they didn't go out and buy broken tests and falsify. They didn't get, listen, you're Kenny Dalgley's daughter, yeah, do me a favor, go and like find a positive test and like put that sample across all of them, like some kind of weird conspiracy theory film. Like, that isn't what they did. Essentially, they did go above and beyond. They've got their reasons for it, and we'll take Liverpool at face value for it. And a mistake has happened, and the game has been called off. There are things within the process that don't make sense. Why are you applying for a postponement when you had no negative test? But the point is, because there's no process, like, the idea is this. If you do your test and they come back negative and you go, look, the postponements, here's a request, it should have just been thrown out. No, you tested fine. It's done now. But there isn't that process in place. So from my point of view, I just get annoyed that people are missing the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room, as ever, has been the process. And everybody keeps ignoring that element. But again, I think that's just because everybody wants to keep the door open to be able to attack their rivals. That's the only thing that makes logical sense for me. It's the only thing. The rest of it is weird to me, bruv. It's so weird.
I mean, the only reason I can think we applied for the postponement was thinking either it comes back as still negative and they just go, no, or it comes back positive and they go, yeah, we've just applied for it in advance, which is still, I think it's fine. I can understand why people think it's dodgy. I'd like to think that the club are doing it for the benefit of the fans, letting them know, hold on, before you start making any preparations to travel down. I mean, the whole thing about you've gained an advantage. We haven't gained an advantage. We've lost an advantage because we've lost the home advantage for the second leg, which would have been massive. Kenny Dalglish's daughter does not play a part in this. A communications or commercial manager isn't sneaking into the labs and messing around with COVID tests.
She broke in at the dark of, you know, that scene from the film Venom where Hardy's character breaks into the lab at night. That was Dalglish's daughter, like mixing up the test results. She's on the phone. Oh, listen, Jurgen, I've done it, mate. I've done it. We're away. It's just, for me, I don't believe in any kind of conspiracy theory. All conspiracy theories for me are like, are a madness. And someone here says, check the EFL chairman. I know the EFL chairman used to work for Liverpool. But you go through the FA and all the leagues, all the big authorities, and start looking at who sits on boards and panels. They've all worked for different Premier League clubs. That's what they're made up of. That's what's being left out in these statements. These panels and these boards and people that run the leagues and the EFL Cups, look at the people that run UEFA. They've all played for, managed, or been at board level at football clubs. That's literally where you think you just get a job running the EFL or running the Premier League, having never worked in football before. I was an area director for Tesco's. Now I'm head of the EFL. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Hold on, he's a City fan. Isn't the City chairman on like UEFA's board? Like, I chairman not on board, it happens.
I think Liverpool fans are also very confused in the comments as well. Because they're like, we don't like that Terry suggested that people are calling us cheats, but he's also defending us. I don't know how to respond to this. Listen, communist Merseyside are the only ones that are upset here that don't want to discuss this. This should be a talking point, the main talking point on every Liverpool channel, station, Twitter account all day today. They should be discussing it and they should be going through it in detail. But I get a feeling it will be hush, hush. They don't want to speak about it. By the way, that makes everybody more suspicious. Because it's like, why are you chatting about it, G? What you done? What you done? Why are you hiding it? Do you know what I mean? But there we go. We're going to take some more calls. It's crazy what I'm seeing here. Cameron here says, Tom, the fake Liverpool fan, always twerking for Terry.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do in this point? Disagree? No, we should be throwing out the cup. This is a disgrace from the club. What are we doing? No, I'm going to agree because I don't think we've done anything wrong. Are you a Liverpool fan there? Why would you want me to disagree with defending the club at this point in time? Why would I want us to be thrown out of the cup when I don't think we've done anything wrong? I just think, should we have exploited it? Morally, no. But are we the first to do it? No. Are we the last to do it? No. I mean, Arsenal literally done it 4 days later. So it's not, someone's got a more moral high ground. No, if you give these clubs an opportunity, they're going to take it, because at the end of the day, they don't care about, what's right, what's wrong. It's, how can I win? How can I get more money? That's all that matters at the end of the day. Not about, it's not the correct thing to do, because no one has done the correct thing to do during this process.
Do you know why? Because there is no process. It is literally just throw enough mud and see what can stick. Oh, we've got another good one here. Where's it gone? This is from Beezy Letman. Terry, nobody takes you seriously, to be honest. Is that true, everybody? Does nobody take me seriously? Nobody takes me seriously? Cheers, brother. I love it. I love these people. Like, cool. Do you know who does take me seriously? Do you know who does take me? No, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not even going to go into it. Man like Sirim's like, no. Terry, lies, corruption, stop condoning it. Again, it's mad, isn't it? My approach triggers everybody. Liverpool fans don't want me highlighting the story, and rivals want me to call them cheats. It's crazy. It's a madness to me. Let's bring some more callers in to have their say on the show today. We're going to go to Samuel, that's a Liverpool fan, next. Corey's going to come on. We're going to get ads on the show as well. But Samuel's here with me now. What are you saying, Sam?
Do you know what? Yeah, this is making me laugh. Rival fans are really crying, saying, "Cool, Liverpool cheats. Cool, Liverpool cheats." Okay, so what? We cheated. What are you gonna do about it? It's like, what? It doesn't make sense. Cool. There might be flaws in what's it called? The rules for the COVID postponement. Yeah, but that's up to the actual EFL board. And that's up to the top end of Liverpool. Now, there might have been a mistake. Cool. Whatever. But rivals calling, or even Arsenal fans, because it's so funny how we were defending ourselves and Arsenal fans were really going at us. 4 days later, Arsenal do the same thing. Like, football fans are hypocrites. We're all fickle. Like, if it happens to your club, you're going to be defending it. So it's like, I hate it when rivals try to take the moral high ground when you will do the same thing for your club. Like, come on.
Well, 110%, 110%. And that's why, for me, in this whole process, I've been frustrated because from my standpoint, I don't think anybody has cheated. And I use the word exploited because I look at this is one of those rules which I consider to be a fair play rule. So I'll give you an example of that outside of football. We used to do, when I first started selling mobile phones, the first job I had, we had a deal with the Orange network, which is now EE, where you had unlimited text messages. Nowadays, when you get unlimited text, it literally is unlimited text. Back in like the early noughties, it was unlimited text with a fair use policy. And what that meant was, if somebody was sent, they used to average, the average person in the UK back then was doing about 300, 400 texts a month. You could do up to about 2,000 and then they would stop it. And that was, so what they didn't want is for people to start using that as a business thing and sending out thousands a day. Does that make sense? So the rule was unlimited, but when you read the terms and conditions, there was a fair use policy. And I get the feeling that there was some type of, and I don't even think they've written this down, by the way, some sort of fair use policy around don't take the piss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because up until this season, this rule's been around a while. I've emailed a few people trying to ask when, but it was definitely here last year. But Liverpool would have used it last year if they knew it existed. I think no one knew. That's my opinion. Because you had far worse issues in your squad last year than you did last year, and you didn't use it. And I think that's why the EFL are now panicking, because they're looking at it like, if we don't get this changed now, this will just continue to happen. There'll be a big game coming up. City are coming to play Liverpool at Anfield. You're neck and neck in the title race, but they get a couple of players sent off and they've got a couple of key injuries, and they'll go, right, listen, someone's failing a CV test and 8 of you are going to get knocks. And, and that's what they're going to do. And they know that people have already started to. And do you know how we kind of know everyone's taking the pee a little bit? Is when anyone's got a game called, like Newcastle, are they 2 key strikers injured, next game postponed? You know, Arsenal, Xhaka sent off. Oh, next game postponed. Knowing our hearts that our teams haven't cheated. They've just bent the rules a little bit. I think we all kind of know that the league, by the way, if the league didn't think that at all, they wouldn't be changing the rule, would they?
Exactly.
They'd be like, you would never change a rule if it was being used correctly in the way in which they designed it. And that's my point. People are not breaking the rule, but people are using it outside I think, what it was implemented for. So the way Liverpool being called cheats, I'm a Man United fan and should be loving it. But I had to talk about it today because it was winding me up all morning. I'm reading it going, I don't understand. I read the article fully and I'm like, what have they done? There's not one thing I've read where I've gone, oh, that's terrible.
And the thing about it is that, like, we know the EFL over the years, like the amount of times they had to change the name of the competition and the sponsors, it's gone down in disrepute. Because before, like in the 2000s and stuff like that, when I think it was called the Wellington Cup, I believe. Yes. Yeah, it was regarded as a good major trophy. Now over the years, because of managers will use it for the youth to get game time. Now it's gone lower in its rankings. But we know that the EFL needed money for this for the competition. And Arsenal versus Liverpool is a big match. That is a very big match. So you know they're not going to pass up Liverpool, or rather having their full strength squad than having their under 23s against Arsenal. It's just not going to make money.
They don't want us to play the kids in the first leg, because if we get battered, which would have happened, we wouldn't have played the big players in the second leg.
Exactly.
Because there's no point.
No, but I completely agree. And you know, I've said to a few people on a few occasions, and I've just reworded my tweet as well. I want to make Liverpool fans very clear. I've added the word cheat claims sparked by the Athletic. And I stand by what I'm saying here, because lots of people are calling you. And I think for Liverpool fans, that it's only trolls on Twitter that are calling us cheats. I think people are deluding them. I think people are deluding themselves. More people are doing it. And unless people are tweeting me now messaging me saying, check Twitter for what? I mean this with respect. Thank you. One of my members has said it. Check Twitter. DH, love you, bro. But what am I checking for? I don't know what I'm searching for, bro. Please tell me. Let me know, and I'll go and check it. We're gonna add. We've got Ram to come on the show with us now. We've also got Corey as well. What are you saying, Corey?
Look, I'm an Arsenal supporter, so let's get that out there. Yeah, this is the Athletic. Put it this way: this game was massive anyway. This game was massive. Now that this article's come out, you know what I mean? He's got the Arsenal fans throwing out claims and whatnot. Look, at the end of the day, it's fair game. You know what I mean? Every club has their own means to, you know. Yes, it might look kind of dodgy the way the Athletic has put it, but let's be real. You know what I mean? The FA investigates this type of stuff and whatnot. It's, you know what I mean? It's fair game the way I see it. And all I'm going to say is the All or Nothing documentary is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
They're going to need the second series.
Yeah,
just of this year.
It's mad. It is all mad. It is, and look, I look at it this way again. Every time I talk about this stuff, a fan from a particular club comes out with like, you know, what you're talking about, Terry, we haven't cheated. Yesterday, Arsenal fan, like, you know, we didn't take the piss. You did, bruv. You did. You know, Liverpool, even Liverpool going above and beyond. They will. The only thing I will say is they'll claim it was like their moral obligation to. I disagree. I think they were looking. I think they were looking because they wanted the game. I agree. I think they wanted the game because everyone that applies for postponement wants the game postponed. That's a certified fact, because if you didn't want it postponed, you wouldn't apply, right? Like, are we all in agreement on that? You wouldn't apply for postponement if you didn't want it postponed. Liverpool also applied before they even had the results back, which, you know, and they'll have their reasons for that. They'll claim it's for morality and protecting people. And look, that's their thought. That's what they feel. Fair enough. I believe it's more, we need this game off, because I do believe you got beat in that game with how your squad was at that moment with Arsenal's form. But we are where we are. But it's gone mad now. Look, I like the Athletic. I read the Athletic. When you read the story, it doesn't say Liverpool cheated, but like the headlines of it are fairly misleading. Like, I read the headlines this morning and thought, oh my God, this is Hollywood movie stuff. And then you read the article and you're like, oh. The funniest thing is I've had about 10 people tweet me pictures of the LinkedIn profile of Kenny Dalglish's daughter.
For goodness sake.
What you saying, Ram? What you saying, Ram?
Look, this is a good movie, man. Like, you think about it, like they all go into a boardroom together and be like, how do we stop this game? And then Kenny Dalglish, like, my daughter works for the agency. She could do an inside job for that thing. It's all beautifully scripted. But this is reality. We're not in a movie. There's no conspiracy. It's so far-fetched what they're saying. Yes, there's a little bit of dodginess here and there, but I don't understand why people will go far and beyond to try and prove something. It just doesn't seem okay to do that.
Ram, they're trying to say that we should drop points in the Premier League because of what we did.
Even though it's in the EFL Cup and not in the Premier League. It don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, I've read the article. And like you said, it's misleading, but just some things just don't add up. Like, it's just like, okay, there's this, but you haven't given us the full details of that. So how can we possibly say it's this? You know, it's just all a little bit of a hullabaloo. It's a bit far-fetched in my opinion. I think people are going far too deep in this.
Mate, I kind of agree. They are. They should be focusing on the bad rule. that anyone who's got a brain should be focusing on the bad rule. Not that, oh, this team cheated, that team cheated, this team did this team did that. Like, that's just everybody will. That's why the league are changing the rule, because everyone's going to exploit it now. It just is what it is. And as I say, I stand by my claims. These Liverpool cheat claims have been sparked by the Athletic. The extra ones were ordered. It's the little wording on their things, not required. It's sort of like, honestly, it made me laugh a little bit.
Terry, do we have a go at Chelsea for exploiting the money that they spent in the early 2000s when the rules weren't there? Do we do that? No, we
No,
don't.
mate, that's a great point. That's a
Or
great
even
point.
Man City.
Now, Man City, there were rules, and they still exploited.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, when there was no FFP. I always look at it like this, right? It's like if you park, imagine how gutted you'd be. This happened to a guy once, I know. Parked his car on the road. He was away for 2 weeks. He was going to the airport, but he parked his car on the road, like next to his mate's house. His mate could keep an eye on his car. East London, cars get nicked. During the 2 weeks he was away, that road become a permit parking road, and they towed his car away. It cost £600 to get his car back. But when he was there, he pulled up. There was no signs there. Like, it was just one that he didn't know. And I'm like, that's how this feels. It's like you can't ever go at someone for like breaking rules. What's the word? Not maybe retrospectively. Like, you can't go back in time and start punishing people for things like that weren't illegal, or there weren't no rule for, or there was no guidance for. Do you get what I'm saying? It's almost, if they keep the rule in, but there's guidance to it, and there's certain process you've got to follow. You can't then go back and go, well, Liverpool cheated, or Arsenal cheated, or Man United cheated, when those rules weren't in place, bruv. It just is how it is. We've got some super chats I've got to do here because people are DMing me, so you ain't put them up yet. I am going to put them up now. Here we go. The EFL are frauds. They knew it was for suspected cases and still set the precedent. Why did Liverpool get second tests when there was no need to? And that's a great point, Hamza. The EFL, and to Ram's point, I think everybody said it on the show. Sam said it as well. It was because they wanted this game off. They wanted this game off because they worried that it would either be uncompetitive in itself or it would make the second leg uncompetitive. The money was around £30 million in advertising and altogether for these two ties. But for them to make that kind of money, they need it to be compelling. And tonight is a compelling game. Either team goes through. Everyone tunes in. Halftime, before the game adverts, halftime adverts, all the stuff that goes out on social media, all of that generates money. Tens of millions of pounds. That is why this has happened. That's the conspiracy, not Liverpool and Kenny Dalglish's daughter. If this was the case, then why did the EFL didn't reject Liverpool's application? Because there's no process. They can't just reject it without Liverpool breaking the process. There is no process. Therefore, it cannot be rejected. And I think teams worked out over December how to put in applications and get them accepted, because a few people had them fouled earlier on. It's like, not quite enough here, not quite enough there. And everyone learned it. Darius says, by your logic, if someone commits fraud, but it wasn't written in law, you will find that acceptable. That isn't what I'm saying. Fraud, if it's fraud, that means it is illegal. However, if there is a practice, so I'm just trying to think of a fraudulent example. Okay, so it didn't used to be. So when I used to work in private banking, when I first started, if you were earning money internationally, so you earned the money outside the UK, you could hold that money in an Isle of Man or a Jersey account. So you were not remitting the money into the UK. If you don't remit the money and deposit it in a UK bank account, you don't have to pay UK tax on it. Very important, because if you imagine you earn £1 million in France, but you don't want to bring it into England, you lose 40% of it straight away. So people don't want to. But we used to provide a credit card to customers that they could spend in the UK. But when they paid it off, they were paying it off with their money outside of the UK, meaning they were able to use it here without remitting it here. That was legal forever. Legal forever. There was no issue. The government changed the law around it. It suddenly became illegal. Therefore, that product was withdrawn overnight and was no longer available. What you can't then do is go and arrest all those people and fine the banks for fraud or money laundering or tax evasion, because they didn't break the law at the time. You can't change a law and then go back and punish people who broke the new law 100 years ago. It's a madness, bruv. It's crazy. You can't do it. That's Darius, I love you, I respect you, but that's literally not what we're saying. We're saying the opposite. Arsenal fans created fake outrage against Liverpool. Then they got their game suspended with one CV case. Embarrassing fan base is what Brooks has got to say. PSS, thank you very much for your donation. Nothing said, but thank you. T here says Arsenal said they had no players but loaned players out. Exactly. They exploited the system because there was no rule about if you sold or loaned players in a certain window of time, you'd be exempt. Those are the kind of things that should exist. Is the phrase offside by a toenail? Bobby, my brother, it isn't, but thank you for guessing the Football Terror secret phrase. At least Leeds have morals. By the way, missed my super chat. I didn't. I was going back to them, my bro. We saved them. Again, you can say Leeds have morals. I say Leeds are stupid. I say they were dumb to do what they did.
Exactly. Explain what you can.
Exactly. This is the problem with the regulations. They are so vague, which makes it easy to find a loophole. Precedent is set. The FA has to intervene. They do. And I tell you what's interesting from my financial background. After the massive financial crash in 2008, lots of new rules and regulations were implemented by the then created FCA and the PCA, who essentially govern the financial world. The problem is, and I used to work for a regulatory service that used to provide consultants to help people in this. They made the rules very vague. They made the regulations very vague, which meant at any time they could change their own interpretation of what it meant or definition and fine you. It was like banks hated it. It was like, what does this mean? They'd never tell you exactly what it meant. That way, you could, this was done in reverse though. This way, you could always find people because you could just twist it and say, that's wrong now. But I've been doing it for 5 years. You came here 3 years ago and said it was fine. Yeah, we've changed that definition now, but not the regulation. It's madness. This is the problem with the regulations. Oh, sorry, I've already read one out. We will make Arsenal pay dearly tonight for the disrespect, is what Jason has got to say. We're going to throw a few more callers in here. I want to get Ads on the show. What are you saying, Ads?
Yes, Terry, big up, man. Listen, you know what? I find it interesting for me, man. I think everyone's kind of alluded to it and touched on it before in terms of the issue is the process, essentially. I do find it funny with fan bases, and we're all guilty of this. If we don't have personal gain with it, we're quick to jump onto our rival fan bases and so, but we all know it's the process that's the issue. And I watched it happen last week, which was quite interesting with the Arsenal fan base in particularly. They jumped all over us Liverpool fans and said, hey, we're cheating, we're doing this and that. And did we exploit the process? Yeah, it's questionable. We might have exploited it, but we've seen in history multiple teams exploit processes until the processes are corrected, essentially. But with Arsenal, we watched them gold Liverpool fans last week. And then going into the weekend against Spurs game, we saw them get the red card against Xhaka. And players got loaned out and they couldn't fill the team. And the energy completely changed with Arsenal fans. All of a sudden, they became more understanding of the situation. So I just think with fan bases, we need to hold ourselves up to the same standard. If you're going to gold a team or blame a team for a situation that is out of their control, then you need to keep the same energy when it comes to your team, in my opinion. And I think with Liverpool, obviously, we always get haters because people want to jump onto Liverpool. But in this situation, it is evident that it's not Liverpool that's the problem. We need to be looking more at the process in general, in my opinion.
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, obviously Jess and I spoke on a few of the shows about this. And like Jess said, Jess got so much heat from Arsenal fans for saying the game really should have gone ahead. But equally, she claimed right. Football fans we're tit for tat. We're tit for tat. And that's why I loved it so much when Arsenal called the game off, because it was like the fans are in the mud, because it was the fans that were like, Liverpool did this, Liverpool did that. My club would, I'm sure you can find the tweets. My club would never. And I don't like this whole, do you know what, I've been on socials for years now. And whenever there's claims or people do things like that, you always get another group of the same fan base saying, oh, don't listen to Twitter. Don't listen to trolls. And you're like, bruv, you click on the profiles, they're real people. If it's a guy with an egg emoji with one follower, cool. But when it's a guy, when it's Dave Smith, you know, who's an architect from Clacton saying it with, you know, followers, pictures of his kids on there, I'm taking his opinion seriously. The same as we're a fan channel. Imagine telling a fan channel to not take fan opinion seriously. I'm so confused. People confuse me. What I get a lot of is this. It's like, I want you to speak the truth on the terrace until it's the truth about my club. That's literally, I got shown screenshots from a group chat from another club, and they were like, the guy was like, I implore you all not to go on the football terrace. And they're like, why? He's like, it's great. He said, it's great when we're winning, but them and the rivals can be so harsh when we lose. I'm like, bruv,
That's the whole point.
That's football. It's football. I don't know, bruv. It's crazy to me. And by the way, I get all the angry Liverpool fans in it. How dare you call us cheats? Tom, have I called you cheats today?
No.
Sam, have I called Liverpool cheats or wrong today?
No, not at all.
But yeah, I'm being called wrong for saying there are cheat claims. Anyway, can I ask everyone this question? Have rival fans called Liverpool cheats today?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, other rival
Yeah.
fans. Yeah.
I'm trying to clarify here. I'm just stating facts. Sarim here is like, yes, you have, Terry. Yeah, I'm sorry. But it's crazy. Fans are mad.
I will say to Liverpool fans, sorry Terry, that
Go on, man.
we should get out of our feelings. You know, rival fans are always going to try and throw something on us. The fact that we're hearing things like we should get points deducted, that's just ridiculous. You know that they,
Bro, we just should
obviously
laugh at it. Laugh at the
Nah,
faces.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I get what you're trying to say, but when the shoe's on their foot, they don't take accountability, and they don't. And when we give them flack, they're like, "Oh no, it's fine. I want equal levels of banter. We give them banter, they give us banter, but they seem to give it, but they don't like to take it. And
I hear it,
that's the problem with.
But you, Ram, you got to remember, and I hear that, but I actually think a lot of things that's happened in the last year or so with Liverpool in terms of performance and so like that has been fans holding it for the past 2 seasons of how successful we have been. So the fact that we've been so successful in the last couple of recent seasons, when we have a slip up, it is going to be major backlash. For instance, I'm going to give you another example. Man City domestically have been brilliant over the last couple of seasons. Immediately they have a slip up, believe they're going to get the biggest flack from everyone out there. It's just the way football goes, isn't it? So I would say Liverpool fans, don't take it personal, take it on the chin, and just hope our team go out there and perform. That's it.
That's true, man. That's what we want.
Go on, Corey. Sorry, bro. Go on, mate.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know me, because I'm an Arsenal supporter, so I can understand. You know what I mean? It's fair game. It's banter each side. Arsenal supporters, that's the issue, you know what I mean? But you get that with every fan base, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, you get it with everyone. At the end of the day, the best team wins on the pitch tonight. So, you know what I mean? We leave it at that, simple as, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how are you all feeling about the game? Like, what's your feeling tonight about the game, Corey?
Let me start on this one. Yeah.
I've seen reports we've got most of our players back, so I think it's going to be lively in the stadium.
I heard you flew party back real quick. I heard as well.
Yeah,
first class.
Yeah, he won't be available for this game, but it's 50-50 in my eyes. You know what I mean? Liverpool can turn us over regardless of Mane and Salah missing, you know what I mean? So, but the home advantage is, you know what I mean? I understand Arsenal fans were screaming about our game, the fixtures feast. I was happy, I'm not going to lie. The second leg at home is always an advantage, especially if we've gone into a 0-0 in the first leg. It's, you know what I mean? We've got the advantage, we've got the home supporters, especially with all this athletic nonsense coming out. It's just sparking up, you know what I mean? The emotions and whatnot. It's going to be a lively one, that's all I'm going to say. But the best team wins on the night, and that's his fair game.
Yeah. What you saying, Sam?
No, I was, because the first leg, I wanted to come on and say my thoughts, and I just said to myself, that was probably our worst performance in the season, personally for me, from the first leg. If we do that again this leg, Arsenal going through. Arsenal going through. That's just what it is. But if we put up a performance, especially in the second half against Brentford, when we were controlled and we were making simple passes but effective passes forward, and Jota and Firmino can start clicking, then yeah, we win this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting.
I was just gonna say, for us, I think this game and Palace are massive games in our season, in my opinion, because February, we're going to get Salah, Mane, Thiago, Harvey Elliott back in the team. And I think that team is going to be strong enough to have a good end to the season. I think these 2 games, even if we shithouse our way to a 1-0 win against Arsenal today and get ourselves to a cup final, I think it's going to do massive momentum for our team moving forward. But I think with us at the moment, Ox is a big miss, because I think Ox was the one guy I think could offer something different. The likes of Minamino are going to need to really step up today to put in a performance. And I look at the Arsenal team, and I don't think it's going to be an easy game. Arsenal at home, they've got the crowd of them. They've been in good form of recently until lately. I think we're good enough, though, when we look at our team to really win this game, in my opinion. And I think for Klopp, people always try and give him stick about he doesn't do anything domestically. I think he needs to get to a final to try and shut a few people up as well. So yeah. I think we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
It's going to be a big game for Curtis Jones as well.
I think we need him. I think we really need him, especially with Noah. I mean, the worst thing that I could see on that team sheet tonight is Milner and Henderson again.
Oh my god, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
My days. I see that
No
again.
more. No more. I don't want to see that. Not
Just get
that.
Jones left centre mid, let him run the show. Leave Millie on the bench. Leave him to come on when there's 10 minutes to go and we're 1-0 up and he just needs to go kick someone. Leave him to go do that.
Or something.
Do not let him start football matches for us in these games anymore.
We're gonna have Patino and Lokonga. Look, he don't.
I will say something that's
how bad Henderson and Milner actually is as a midfield pair nowadays.
I will say something that's a bit ludicrous out there, by the way. Liverpool do actually perform better when the other team have 11 players. I don't know why. When they go down to 10 men, we struggle with low blocks. We really do. So I hope Xhaka's not on the pitch or anyone giving any more red cards out there. So we can play 11 versus 11.
You never know, man. They might need another game postponed. Just saying.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna. Oh, no banter, no banter. Banter is now banned.
Oh, sorry.
A weird comment here that says, "Where's it gone? Where's it gone?" I need to read this out. It says, "Why are Liverpool cheats? Please explain the thumbnail." That's my thumbnail. Liverpool report sparks fury. It definitely has sparked fury. I can't explain it other than what I've said on the thumbnail is a fact. There are postponement cheat claims that are being, bro. Then I suggest Denzel, my old mucker, is rewatch the video from the beginning, read the Athletics report. Liverpool being called cheats by many thousands. Do you know how we know it's thousands of fans? Because it's trending on social media, which means thousands of people are tweeting and talking about it. We're here to speak about the biggest Liverpool story of the day outside of the game and whatnot. So, yeah, very interesting. That's what the thumbnail just says Liverpool report sparks fury, and it's definitely sparked fury this morning, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
You know what, though, Terry? Sorry to put in. With the Athletic, this is the second time this season that something like this happened. And I remember after the United game when they came out with the story that Jurgen Klopp was on the sidelines fuming that they weren't getting more red cards, and he came out and denied it and said you can't write stories like that. And ever since that point, they've not really had a look in with the club. And this is just like they even done it with Mane and Salah when they had their falling out of Burnley.
Doesn't James Pearce work for the Athletic though?
Mm-hmm. This is the thing, though. They say they have these senior sources within the dressing room. Yet these senior sources got the Salah and Mane thing wrong. They said they fell out massively, and there could be no coming back. They got the senior sources then got it wrong again when they said Jurgen Klopp was on the sidelines fuming that Man United weren't getting more red cards. What's to say these senior sources haven't got it wrong again? Like it's happened twice. I know that as that journalists don't reveal their sources, but this is the same senior dressing room source who's got it wrong on 2 previous occasions. There's just a little bit of question marks about that for me. Like,
see, when I look at this story, I don't know. We can only read what we read. I don't know if they've got anything wrong in terms of the information, but it's obviously the way it was kind of. Look, I get headlines are headlines, and you put headlines out there to attract people in. The irony in this, it's why we do the stories the way we do the stories on the football terrace, because our headline is always the claim that's being pushed or what the fan opinion is as a general rule. So Man United will lose a game when Ollie was there and Ollie out is trending. Part of our title includes, and our tweets are Ollie out trending. Come and talk about it. But within the content, you explain it. So there is an element of responsibility here on the readers. The Athletic, like any newspaper, has to put in compelling headlines. If you have bad compelling headlines, if movies have bad trailers, as an example, you don't, oh, what's this? You have to attract people to it. That's a business thing. Every business in the world uses headlines and whatever else. There's nothing in the bullet points that is false, but people have to read the article, listen to the content. Like someone said to me yesterday, in the space of a week, you've done 2 different Vlahovic stories that claim different things. Yes, by 2 different journalists. And then we sit there and put the story out and we let fans have their say and opinion based on the information being provided. For some people, I don't quite know, that they get very annoyed at having to read or having to listen Does that make sense? It's almost a case of, I just want to be told in one sentence what's happening. Maybe that's why certain people are really popular on socials, because that's kind of what they do. They talk in single sentences about certain circumstances rather than giving detailed information. But I hear where you're coming from, Tom. But for me, it's more a case of read the article in its entirety. But that's why we do the conversations, because we'll show the article, we'll speak about the bits, we'll give our opinions, we'll allow people to phone in. I just find that, Twitter, again, is a weird... The thing about Twitter that I find interesting, it's 140 characters, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be more than that. But we will see. David's with us now. What are you saying, David?
I don't know. There's just something a bit dodgy about this one.
Oh,
It's a little dodgy about this one, But
Sit in your chair, please. We can never see you. Sit up.
Sorry. My only thing about this is that and everyone knows I don't like Liverpool. My biggest thing with Liverpool is that all of their fans act like their club is so special and they would never do such bad things. Like that's my only problem with them. That is my only thing with this whole thing. Yes, the rules are stupid. Like, Arsenal got a game postponed and they got a red card. Doesn't make any sense. How are you getting games postponed for your player being an idiot? It's stupid. But my thing with Liverpool fans and I think they just need to understand is that when you act like your club is so special compared to everybody else, and you guys would never do such a thing, and blah, 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 blah. When you do something that's a little bit dodgy, because I know Chelsea would do it as well. I know Chelsea would. I'm not going to sit here and be like, Chelsea would never do such a thing. I'd sit there and be like, I'd implore Chelsea to do such a thing. We wanted that Wolves game called off because we just, we had no forwards, but we didn't play the rules well enough. I know my club would do it. But when Liverpool fans are like, no, my club is, my club's special. My club would never do such a thing. We do everything the right way. Klopp is this amazing person who never does anything wrong. And, all this and that.
That's your manager. That's your manager, Dave. That's your manager, Dave.
How is that my manager?
You're a Dortmund fan. He bought you 2 league titles, bro.
He's never managed Chelsea, bro.
He bought 2 league titles for you. You're a Dortmund fan. I'm
just saying, you guys need to understand that when you guys talk so highly of your club, when you do something a little dodgy, people are going to come at you. That's my only thing. That's it.
But we call it out, don't we, Dave? Like, people, myself, Tom,
not all of you. Some of you. Others of you like to keep very quiet and say, amazing.
The thing is, my thing about it.
I think you got a point. I think there really is something behind the Kenny Dalglish's daughter involved. I've heard Ian Rush's son. Ian Rush has a nephew who drives for DPD. He's probably delivered the test. It's all like a conspiracy, yeah.
The way the story's built is almost like it's a Netflix special. Like,
it's basically Ocean's 11.
Everything about it is like
Liverpool's Ocean's 11.
Liverpool's
Ocean's 11.
No, it's an unreleased Mission Impossible.
Daughter was involved, and then his cousin, best friend's dog, who was the dog walker for this person. It's always there's a little link everywhere, and it will come and it will all lead to one person at the top, and it'll be like, oh, that's how it happened, and it'll be like someone just poured loads of lemon juice in the freaking lateral flows or some shit. That's what it will be.
It's crazy, but do you know the maddest thing is though, right? Like, fans of, I understand why people back their clubs, but people really miss things. So again, I didn't condemn Arsenal yesterday. I think Jess tweeted out the rules going to change, and I kind of commented with as you said, people will moan now, and I kind of commented of course they with laughing emojis. She come back and then replied with, I'm gonna put this on the screen actually because this makes me laugh. But there's an Arsenal fan that's quote tweeted it. He's like, basically, you didn't defend us, but you're defending Liverpool. Bruv, I'm defending everybody that's done it. It's just you're not reading it right. And look, so this is his tweet. I love this stuff. I love it. Right. So let me just scroll in a bit. So Arsenal game, they had 8 available players at the time equals taking the piss. Again, taking the piss was me laughing with you. Like, you took the piss, bruv. Liverpool literally fake corona equals in the right. And again, that's how people have read what I've said. They've even taken my things. I literally read this tweet at the bottom. Yep, that's why Arsenal did us a favor. How am I having a go at Arsenal, but saying they did us a favour in the same sentence? I said they took the piss and embarrassed the EPL. Grand, really. Now, that's a bit of an Irish phrase there, but saying it's grand means it's great. Saying they did us a favour and laughing that they embarrassed the EPL has been twisted into you condemned Arsenal. I am literally, but I don't know what this comes down to. Everybody is so in their feelings about their club. I get why Liverpool fans saw my tweet where I said, cheat claims. And their instant reaction is, how dare you call us cheats? Because people are calling you cheats and you're aware of that. And you want the word cheat and Liverpool not to be in the same tweet. but discuss it, put it out there, debunk it, laugh at the idiots that are saying it. That's the best. In my view, that's how you counteract it. But literally, when I look at this here, like I'm literally defending Arsenal. In fact, I'm praising Arsenal. And you know why I'm praising Arsenal the most? Because Arsenal, what they did is they exploited it and took the piss so much, and it was so embarrassing with the loans, the Xhaka red card, the knocks. The EPL are going to change the rules now because they've gone, we look so stupid. I'm praising Arsenal, and it's like, but we did nothing wrong. I'm like, oh, if you did nothing wrong, they wouldn't be if you didn't do what I said, they wouldn't be changing the rules, G. They wouldn't be changing the rules. It's mad. Why is everyone in their feelings so much, boys? Why?
Do you know why? It's because, people have an agenda and they stick to that agenda and they go through and through with that agenda. So I usually don't agree with what David says, but David, I agreed with it because when he talked about the top reds that put Liverpool to such a high value, this is where they undo themselves, because when Liverpool do something like this, it's just like, what we said before, we're gonna have to quickly change it or change the narrative to see to make Liverpool seem like righteous again. And I said, don't do that. If Liverpool have done something wrong, call it out. Yes, we love our club. Yes, you know me, Terry. Ram knows me as well. I'll back my club whenever I need to back my club. But if we've done something wrong, call it out. But just laugh at the rival fans that are trying to say that we should get deducted 40 points. Like, seriously, come on,
mate. And this is the thing, right? I put in the group chat earlier today, I'd take 20 points, and I was going to tweet it, and I'm like, I can't, because nobody I know, man, like Big Riz Khan or a big Liverpool fan, or like comment or retweet or share it, and then you just get, no one sees the joke. Like I've said for ages on Twitter, they should have fonts, a sarcasm font, a joke font, and whatever else. But I don't even have that will work, because people are weird with it. A comment here from Fergie's son says, Terry, it's called cognitive dissonance. And that's what it comes down to. I feel like it was Lies that comes on the show said this a few weeks ago. And he said about, and it isn't, don't blame Twitter. This is social media in general. Even when you talk on camera, it's never what you say. It's what you don't say. It's what Liverpool fans wanted my tweet to say is, like, words to the effect of, it is outrageous that anybody would call Liverpool cheats because of this terrible article by The Athletic condemning this brilliant club. They want it to be like, that's how they want it to, they almost want it to read like that. When you praise certain players at certain clubs, it's, I know you said he was world-class, Terry, but you didn't say he was top 3 in the world. It's almost, no amount of praise is good enough for a certain percentage of fans. It has to be exactly how they see it, or they get angry and upset. It's mad to me. It's absolutely,
I was just going to say,
mad.
sorry, Terry. I was going to say, I think it's a bit extreme, though. Obviously, people will always try and defend their clubs, but we all know, like, as football fans, just pure football fans, club allegiances aside, we all know there's corruption and all of that involved in terms of everyone has an agenda. We literally watched last season our football clubs try and go into a Super League. So, guys, this is what I said before. Don't take it personally. And with David, I hear what you're saying. You don't like Liverpool, so I expect rival fans to try and use this against us. It's no surprise, essentially. But even Chelsea, for example, we watched with Thomas Tuchel say that you lot couldn't field a team. And in that same day, you lot fielded a very strong team and just were not capable of winning, which ended up backfiring against you. So, like I said, everyone's got their agendas and their ways of doing things. But if your rival fan is trying to get at you, just don't take it personally, man. It's just football, in my opinion.
People do, and it is what it is. Look at our lineup versus Chelsea a few days before Colin Toss? Or does it mean coin toss? Maybe it means coin toss. I thought it was a player then. I don't know who Colin Toss is. I thought it was a player. We had confirmed cases, including Klopp. Yeah, Kieran, no one is accusing you of falsifying these things. It's just, look, I'm saying this now, and we can go into it, and everyone is always going to defend their club. If all these processes were done bang on, and there was no sign of anything a little dodgy from the clubs, the league wouldn't be changing the rule. They wouldn't. Because then, do you know why they wouldn't? Because then the rule would be doing its exact job and protecting the integrity of the game. They're looking to change the rule or enhance the rule because they They know that it's damaging the integrity and it's being exploited. Otherwise, they wouldn't. If the rule was doing what it was meant to do fully, they wouldn't be changing it. Again, that is the smoking gun or the elephant in the room here. And again, it's not about attacking Liverpool or Man United or Burnley or Newcastle. It's just about stating cast iron facts. Cast iron facts for me. And I also think what happens when you tweet and say things as well, boys, you'll all know this. Everyone on this stream's from different parts of the UK or world even. I'm not asking everyone where they were born, and that's irrelevant. But like, I've got an American here telling me that saying that Arsenal took the piss is like slanderous. I'm like, bruv, you're not understanding working class terminology here. We say that all the time. Do you know what I mean? How many watch rants do a show when people are making him laugh? He'll say it 5 times a show. You're taking the piss, bruv. It's just what we say in London. I'm not sure about in Liverpool or Manchester. It's what we say. It is not. It's not a direct hit, bruv. It's not a direct hit. Chill out here. Just chill out a little bit. Terry, Liverpool. Okay. Coin toss is in the comment section. I get it now. We're gonna throw young Tommy in as well. What are you saying, young Tommy? What are you closing very quickly? Hello, young Tommy. What are you saying?
Well, I'm looking forward to the game, but you know the postponement. Like, we're not making excuses because I actually wanted the North London derby to come on. I wanted the Liverpool game to go on when we was going to play them at home. Like, I didn't want it to be postponed. So I'm not making excuses. I'm not like other Arsenal fans that make excuses. But with Liverpool fans, like, I'm sorry, but you lot just didn't want to play us. That's why you lot called off the game.
Of course.
That's why
we're not disputing that.
obviously everyone has COVID, the players now, we understand that, but I'm not making excuses. I wanted the game to go on, but we've got problems of our own, like with AFCON, with the players, and the midfield's the problem. And well, I want to say to Liverpool fans, good luck for the game tonight. Hopefully one of us goes through to the final to play Chelsea. I bet the best team win. Like, it's going to be a tough game. Like, you could obviously the problem is the midfield that's going to worry me, because the midfield is weak, and if Patino and Lokonga plays, we are in trouble in that midfield. We are in deep trouble. This is why we shouldn't have loaned that Maitland-Niles, Guendouzi, Torreira. This is the problem with what I have with Arteta when he loans out these players, because we're going to get overrun in midfield. But we see how it goes. I reckon it will be like a 2-1 to us or 2-1 to you either way. Or you can go to extra time or penalties, but they're the best team win. But what Kenny Dalglish's daughter was saying is just bullshit. I'm thinking, if you've got nothing to say, just keep your mouth closed, innit? Like, don't say anything.
She said something.
Know what you said in about Kenny Dalglish's daughter about the
But she ain't done anything. She works for the lab that do the tests, but she's like a comms manager, which means she probably tweets stuff for them. Like, she'll send emails out. Like, I'm gonna be not rude to that position, but no comms manager at any business, has power. Like, has power well, to like control this, like conspiracy level. It's crazy. And one sec, bro. Anfield Roden here says Arsenal fans will start saying Liverpool invented CV because Alisson is an ambassador of the World Health Organization. Do you know what? That is hilarious. And that's true. That's the point. It's like, how far are we going to take this now? And I think, as one of our members said a minute ago, I put his comment up. It's not just Liverpool fans. All clubs have got a percentage of very sensitive supporters that can't. It's why the PR stuff happens on transfers, because they can't take the idea of a player saying no or another team got him over you. So the clubs send out the message that we're not looking at anybody at any moment, at any time, just so that no one's feelings get hurt. Yeah. It's a madness to me. It really is. But boys, listen, I appreciate you. Actually, got one more call here. Sorry, Mohamed's here. What are you saying, Mohamed?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say, my bro?
Yeah, I just want to say a couple of things. Like, a lot of people just need to calm down about all of this thing about that's going on with all these teams with the COVID situation. They just obviously they just need to like make the rule, because it's just getting to a point where a lot of fans are just complaining with one another about these things. People just need to calm down about it, you know?
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more, Mo. That they absolutely do, and focus on the actual problem here, which is the authorities and everybody that's running it. Viewers, do me a favor before you go and smash that like button for us. Very, very important that you get that done. And we really appreciate every single person that's done it. Subscribe to The Terrace as well. We're back later today with some big Chelsea transfer news and, of course, the match reaction live to the Arsenal-Liverpool semi-final second leg. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll